A lot of these women, I'm just gonna call it, y'all are fake. That's why you can't understand when a real one is putting you up on game, when a real one is letting you know the deal. You don't want to hear it because deep down inside, you're a fake broad. You will sit over here and lie to your friend and tell her she looked good in that outfit the whole time. She looks a damn mess because you're a liar. You're fake. You're not real. Real friends tell the truth.
Realistically, if you think about it, every time you are out and you see a pretty girl and she has an ugly friend with her, what does that ugly friend do?
Excuse me, I got a question. I saw you. No. One second. Let me talk.
I'm not a pretty woman.
She instantly jumps into lesbian defense mode because she is an ugly Betty. The bitch is jealous. So when you try to talk to the cute girl, the ugly friend, you just like, leave her alone. She hates men. It's like, nah, bitch, you hate men. Back the fuck up. You know what I mean? And she will keep going. And you've seen videos where the cute friend will even tell the ugly friend, like, no, it's cool. And she still will be like, absolutely the fuck not, because she's not getting that same attention.
You have nice eyes. You're so pretty.
You saw my eyes all the way
Yeah, I have nice vision. So I saw your eyes.
Roll Tide. She's married. Roll fucking Tide. I really do appreciate it. Roll Tide. Thank
You're gorgeous. Are you Brazilian?
I'm Portuguese. I get that. Roll Tide. I don't speak Portuguese.
Roll
the Tide. Hey, I'm talking to you. Oh, I'm sorry. My grandma was born in the Azores.
Okay.
So,
You have Instagram or anything? Or like Snap?
I actually have a boyfriend.
You have a boyfriend? Alright, well, look. Have a great night. Get home safe.
So in the ugly girl's mind, men are evil, men are aggressive, men are everything bad because she can't fucking get the one she wants. You know what I mean? And so she deflects that onto her cute friend. And so then you also have another subcategory. So you have ugly girls and you have hoes. Hoes build a reputation for themselves. They're sleeping around, they're collecting babies, they're collecting bodies. The bitches just don't stop. And so after they're done living their whole life, now they're coming and looking for a man to save them, and no man is willing to save them. So again, they create the same agenda. Men are evil, men are monsters, men are selfish. No, you bitches are just two unlikable categories, and you bitches are going to attract what you put out, which is bullshit 24/7. So with that being that, it just grew so big with them just constantly projecting that message over and over and over, because hoes can be pretty. So you have girls that are pretty, but they're hoes. And so you see them being pretty and hating men, and then another girl jumps on because she's pretty and she hates men. Then you see an ugly girl, she's ugly and she hates men. Then another ugly girl jumps on and she's ugly and she hates men. And it just keeps fucking going. And it doesn't fucking make sense, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to compete with men until it's actually time to fucking come down and compete. They don't want to pay their own fucking bills. They don't want to change those fucking tires. That's the thing. Women feel like there is a competition where men don't see us as competition. They don't give a fuck. Like, you can't compete with something where you don't fucking compare. Women realistically don't do shit. Like, we cook, we clean, but men can also do that. A man, if he really needed to, he could cook a fucking meal. He could clean a fucking house. A woman, no matter how, she would have to put some real logic together to fucking change a tire. Like, that's gonna take some fucking work. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's women that can do it, but I for sure am not one. If you take 10 men, they could cook and clean a house. If you take 10 women to change oil or to change a fucking tire, or even to even help you out in the fucking rain, them bitches ain't prepared with an umbrella, a chair, nothing. We just be like little bobbleheads walking around. So it just, that's where I think it came from. When I really sit back and think of it, ugly women and hoes created the feminist movement.
Okay, so we going straight in with the heat today. I have to say, I agree 1000%. It's always the broads that can't get a man that somehow hate men, or the broads that have been with too many men that hate men. And that correlation that she drew there was spot on. Shout out to you, sis. Okay, shout out to this good sis, because she cooked here. Let's start with the unattractive women. Of course, a woman who is unattractive, not trying to put effort into what she looks like, of course she's going to have this negative visceral reaction to men. The reason being because they're not showing her any interest. So it's a bit of cope. If I pretend like I don't like men, if I get angry and pretend, then I get to mask that vulnerable feeling of feeling rejected. People do not want to be vulnerable. And the moment you realize that, a lot of behaviors start to come into focus. A lot of anger, a lot of aggression is really there to mask sadness and vulnerability. vulnerability. People don't want to seem vulnerable, and women are not immune to that. We want to seem strong, put together, like we don't care, like we don't give a damn. When you find women that are deep down inside very sad, okay, very sad, and this will apply to the as well. The women that are very sad, torn up inside, rather than just being vulnerable and saying, look, I feel lonely, I feel rejected, rather than leaning into that vulnerability, instead, they're gonna buck back and be like, I don't care. I don't want no man anyway. F all men. Men ain't ish. It makes sense to me why an unattractive woman, as well as a hoe, would not like men, okay? Because you want to hide behind anger when the real feeling that you're having is sadness. It's loneliness. Instead, we'll mask it with anger. We'll mask it with aggression. I hate men. Men are so terrible. I don't even want them anyways. Bullshit. The way y'all be reading your little fanfic, I call bullshit. You know, if we think about the feminist movement, if you're not able to access the rewards of femininity, right? If you're not able to access that, then yeah, of course you're gonna try to create a space for yourself where you can find some type of value, you know, if you're not able to be valuable in that traditional way. So the women that are unattractive, men don't really want them, they're not checking for them, they couldn't find a husband to save their life, literally, to save their life, of course they would lean into a movement that is making it so that they don't need that, right? They don't need to have a man in order to do this, that, and the third. And I don't think that everything with the feminist movement is necessarily bad. I like the idea that I can get out, get a job, make some money. I like that. I like the idea that I can go out and I can vote. Okay, if I'm paying taxes, I need to be able to vote. I like having that option to do so, because even in a heterosexual relationship, having that option to go out and work and bring some money, or stay in and work, because we got work from home, remote work, having that option really does help the family out, especially in this economy. This economy is trash. This economy is not built for provider man. There might be some 1%ers, or, you know, the people on the highest end that are doing it. They can make the money to provide. You don't have to work, but that's not the reality for most of us. Most of us gonna have to get our ass out and work. I like that option to be able to contribute to a household. Love that. But then they keep taking it further and further and further. And to the point where you start demonizing the very things that make you a woman. You see the feminist movement, they really push for offing your offspring through abortions. I can understand why an ugly broad would push for something like that. Nobody wants to procreate with them. Nobody wants to spread their ugly ass genes down the lineage. So of course you're gonna push for a movement that deteriorates the very idea of having children. If you can brainwash enough people to, of their own volition, choose not to procreate, and when they do, off it, then it's going to give you a sense of community, right? It's going to make you feel better because you didn't even have the option to begin with. So it makes sense to me why ugly broads, and not all of them do this, okay? There are some facially challenged women that do not support this feminist agenda because they're not broken on the inside. They understand and they lean into their vulnerability, and they try to do what they can do to make things work. But for some of these other broads, of course you like feminism. Of course you're a crazy, raging feminist. Look at you. And to move on to the hoes, okay, it makes sense that the 304s would also end up in that feminist lane, because when you've been ran through by all these different men, of course you're gonna have this hatred of man. When I overeat something, if I eat too much of a cake, I'm gonna not want to taste that cake. Okay, there are people where when they were a child, they ate way too many grape peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and so now they can't stand the taste or the sight of grape peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And that makes sense. The more you partake in something, if you do it in excess, eventually it's going to be distasteful to you. So when women are engaging in acts with men in a surplus, you know, that's how you become a hoe, okay? As much as they want to rebrand what a hoe phase is, we know what it means, and we know what activities are involved in that. So when 304s, after being ran through all these different dudes, of course you're gonna have a bad taste in your mouth. The same thing happens with men. When they run through a bunch of broads, they end up not liking us. They're like, man, That's the mentality that they end up with, because excess is never really a good thing. You can think of excess of water. If you drink too much water, you'll drown yourself. Literally, quite literally, you will drown the cells in your body. You could die. Excess is a bad thing. 304s have an excess in intimacy with the opposite sex, and of course you're going to end up hating them, because deep down inside you know that none of these men really wanted to wipe you up. You understand that your body was just a tool for them to get off, and so of course you're going to look at them instead of looking inward, like, why did I put myself in these positions? Why did I willy-nilly just open the legs to any Tom, Dick, and Harry that batted their eyes at me? You know, instead of looking at yourself and being like, hey, why did I allow myself to become this way? Why did I behave this way? Why did I allow all these different men into my being? Rather than dealing with that, we're going to just put the blame outward. Men are trash. Instead of looking at ourselves and being like, why am I a hoe? No, you're going to look outward and say, why are men trash? It makes sense that these two groups of women will latch together and form the feminist movement, or perpetuate the feminist movement, or better yet, bastardize the feminist movement. It makes total sense. And I'm gonna be honest here, sis cooked. Of course, you have some people in the comment section hating. You know, women, we just don't want to hear the truth. Every single time we hear a woman say anything critical, and this is with any group, no group wants to be criticized. They want you to look at everybody else but them. And that's the reason why in society, we're just stagnant for the most part. We can't get our relationships together because, you know, anytime you want to hold accountability on one side, they start throwing a fit. Well, what about them? It's that whataboutism that is going to be the death of humanity, because we can't sit and have an honest conversation about problems without everyone being like, well, what about them? If we keep going with this whataboutism, it's just going to be a game of volleyball, just passing the buck back and forth, not actually dealing with the problems. Obviously, we had people in the comment section, oh, pick her, choose her, love her. I don't know this woman. She might not get chosen. She might not be chosen. She might get chosen. She might have already been chosen. I don't know. But that insult is always thrown out there by some lonely broad that doesn't want to take accountability for anything. She just wants you to keep and be fake and superficial with her. And see, that's the problem. A lot of y'all don't want real friendship. Y'all don't want real relationship. Y'all don't want real community, because with real comes honesty. Y'all just want to lie to each other in a circle jerk, and it just doesn't work that way. You don't grow from just sitting over and glazing each other, saying, oh yeah, you go girl, whole time you know she ain't going nowhere. Okay, you know she ain't going nowhere, but you gonna keep saying you go girl, you go girl. Yeah, she need to go and take that off. She need to go and clean herself up. She need to go and get a clue. But y'all won't tell her that because you don't want to be real. You don't want to be real with anybody, and you don't want anybody to be real with you. A lot of these women, I'm just gonna call it, y'all are fake. That's why you can't understand when a real one is putting you up on game, when a real one is letting you know the deal. You don't want to hear it because deep down inside, you're a fake broad. You will sit over here and lie to your friend and tell her she looked good in that outfit the whole time. She was a damn mess because you're a liar. You're fake. You're not real. Real friends tell the truth. Real ones tell the truth, regardless if you're gonna like it or not. So these broads, okay, and I know some of y'all don't like when I say broads. I don't care. It rolls off the tongue. These broads don't like when people clock their T. As much as they'll be like this in the, they don't actually like when people clock their T. And it shows. It shows with insults like this. Pick her, choose her, love her. We know what that means. You think that someone calling out the foolishness within women is them trying to get chosen. Oh, I'm not like the other girls. In some cases, it could be true, right? With like a Pearl who's never going to get chosen no matter how much she grifts on these topics. Nobody wants her, and rightfully so. We have eyes. We can see why. This term, this pick me term, it gets misappropriated. Y'all use that term for anybody that tells you about yourself, as if being accountable is a bad thing. Understand, when you know that there's a problem, that is an opportunity to fix the problem. How can I fix something if I don't know that the problem exists? It's like shooting in the dark. If we have honesty within this sisterhood, real sisterhood, and have real honesty with each other, then we will be able to pinpoint the different areas where we are coming up short and be able to have an honest conversation about it. But y'all don't want that. Y'all want people to lie, glaze you, even though it's a lie, even though they're laughing at you behind your back. Ooh, y'all don't want to talk about it. Y'all don't want to talk about how much you laugh about your girlfriend behind her back, how much you talk mad straight up trash about your bestie behind her back, that's because y'all are fake. Fake people don't like criticism. They just want superficial, oh yeah, you look good. Oh yeah, you look good. You just want that superficial type of interaction. And that's the reason why y'all get mad when people get real and they tell you what it truly is. And they don't sit over here and mince their words and try to kiki and try to pretend just to spare your feelings or just to be accepted. There are a lot of women that won't tell the truth because they just want to feel accepted. They know that if they tell the truth, they might get ostracized. So you have a lot of women that will be fake just to have a place to stay within the sisterhood. But understand that sisterhood is not going to save you. No, it's not. These hoes ain't going to marry you. Even if you look at the lesbian relationships, abysmal when you look at the divorce rate and the rate of domestics. So I'm going to need us to let go of this whole sisterhood nonsense. It is nonsense. It's a breeding ground for fakeness, being fake with each other. Start telling each other the truth, please. That's the only way we're going to grow and be better as women, is if we start telling each other the truth and stop lying to one another. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts. How do you feel about what sis said? I think she cooked, okay? I think she cooked and then left no crumbs. She clocked it, okay? She clocked it, like the girls would say. Or do you think differently and think that she's just being a pick-me bitch? I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the content, interact with it. The more you interact with the content, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Also, hype the video. I have that function. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy me a coffee. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.
What?